Dear friends, for those who don't know me, I'm Brother Sean. I'm a barefoot Franciscan monk. I come from the Catholic Christian family, but in 2008 I was guided by Francis of Assisi and Jesus, the barefoot Galilean, to step out of my comfort zone. And my comfort zone was my religious family, and to begin a journey of great expectations, challenges, surprises, where I was guided in my heart to walk God's talk and not to talk his walk. And by that I mean I was guided to do something which is physically impossible. But with God, the Supreme, everything is possible. And the mission, the mandate, the dream that Jesus and Francis has for all God's children is the setting up of the Teo community of St. Francis, a lay monastic community for ordinary men and women of all faiths and none, to come and behold the mystery of divine love. A mystery that unfolds before our very eyes. And it is a mystery because our ego, our head, wants the answers, but the language of love that is spoken to us is in our heart. Because I see the heart as being something more than just the temple of God. For me, the heart is the ears and the eyes of a loving God, where we're empowered to come away from a place of fear and embrace the totality of who we are in service. The purpose, again, of doing this short video is to reassure those men and women who have a real desire within their being to live the simple life and to be part of an online monastic community where they're given the freedom without all the restrictions that can be imposed upon one living in a monastic community. Because one of those restrictions is your freedom. Because once you join, yes, you have free will to leave, but once you join, it's like being a member of a golf club, a prestigious golf club. To be an active member, to be accepted as a member, you have to abide by the rules. Otherwise, you're asked to leave. In my journey as a nursing monk, then as a nurse, and now as a contemplative monk, I receive many emails from men and women who have a hunger, a spiritual hunger, to live a simple life, but not in a conventional monastic setting. To live it from their own home, but be a part of a family where they can join online for support, for prayer, for friendship, for agape. And in some of the emails I receive, I hear some really challenging scenarios of where men and women tried their vocation and they knew that they had to leave because they just felt that an oppressiveness. And I know some have shared that they sat in the garden of their monasteries and they looked in and they thought, this is not for me. My love of God is for me, But this restrictive life is destroying me. And I believe today something wonderful is happening. There's a great revival of spirituality where men and women are seeing the face of God. They're experiencing the love of God in their own life on a personal level. Some are Buddhist, Hindu, Sikh, Jew, Muslim, Christian, Baha'in, Wiccan, pagan, and they have a real sense of ownership of that love that they have. Many go on courses to develop their spiritual life. Many practice meditation, yoga, prayer. But the one thing that I'm discovering more than anything is that those who contact me have such a love of nature. They have a real sense of belonging when they're in nature. They love animals. They love the sense of freedom in open spaces. And they share with me that their heart is alive. It's vibrant, it's joyful. But I also support those who are the casualties of monastic living, where they had to leave because it was making them mentally ill. The pressure, the lack of brotherly, sisterly love, being unable to cope with the rules and the traditions. They felt stifled. And this isn't my knocking or trying to discourage anyone from entering the monastic life. It is a beautiful life. I lived it for 8 years. But on a personal level, I had to come away because I found it too restrictive and I found it extremely lonely and I wasn't fulfilled. But now I am, because I'm part of a community of brothers and sisters from different faiths. And the one thing we have in common is our love of the Supreme, who's known by many names. But we each become a teacher, a mentor, a spiritual midwife, where we help one another to understand another's belief without guilt, without fear, without conversion. And there's a safety net so that if you hit rock bottom, there's a comfort zone of love. There's a backup service where your family reach out to you. There are men and women who, because of their sexual orientation, no longer could live the monastic life, particularly in the Catholic Christian family, because of the Church's teaching on sexuality. And I am not here to condemn or condone, but I'm here to say this, that all things are possible for those who trust. And if Jesus doesn't condemn you, then why should I? Why should the Church? So if you who are watching this is a man or a woman of the same sex who's in love with a person of their own sex and who has a desire to follow God and to combine the spiritual life in a loving relationship, then I am not here to sit in judgment. I am here to offer you help and support. And your sexual orientation or your disability, whatever, is not a bar to you becoming a friend or a member of the Teo community, because you know God sees into your heart I don't. I can sense one's love of God by listening, but I cannot see what God sees right into the very essence of who you are. And if God created you in his image and likeness, then that's good enough for me. So come and be a part of a loving family.